It was Christmas morning, 1996, in Boulder, Colorado. A quiet home in the suburbs, gifts waiting under the tree, a family preparing to celebrate. But before the day could even begin, their world was shattered. 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey, a child beauty queen with a bright smile and a promising future, was reported missing. Hours later, she was found dead in her own basement. Nearly 3 decades later, the question still haunts America. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey? JonBenét Patricia Ramsey was born August 6, 1990. She was just 6 years old when she died. Known for competing in child beauty pageants, often wearing tiaras, sequin dresses, and performing on stage. Her parents were JonBenét Ramsey, a wealthy businessman, and Patsy Ramsey, a former beauty queen herself. She also had a 9-year-old brother, Burke. On Christmas Day, 1996, the Ramseys returned home from a holiday party. By all accounts, JonBenét went to bed. But in the early hours of December 26th, her mother Patsy awoke and discovered something terrifying. At the bottom of the staircase was a handwritten ransom note, 3 pages long. It demanded exactly $118,000, eerily close to John Ramsey's recent work bonus. Patsy immediately called 911, reporting JonBenét missing. Officers arrived, but here's where the first big mistakes happened. The crime scene was never properly sealed off. Friends, neighbors, even a pastor came in and out of the house. Evidence was contaminated before investigators could collect it. 4 hours, police searched the house, but oddly, no one checked the basement thoroughly. Finally, around 1 in the afternoon, John Ramsey himself went down with a family friend. And there, behind a closed door, he found JonBenét's body. She had been strangled with a garrote made from nylon cord and part of a broken paintbrush. Her skull showed signs of a severe blow. She had duct tape over her mouth. The coroner later ruled the cause of death as asphyxia by strangulation associated with a skull fracture. A horrifying end for a child. From the beginning, police were split. Was this an inside job, or did an intruder somehow sneak in? The first theory pointed at the family. Investigators said there were no clear signs of forced entry. The ransom note, they claimed, seemed unusually long and written on paper from inside the house. Suspicion fell on John, Patsy, even young Burke. In 1998, a grand jury actually voted to indict John and Patsy on charges of child abuse resulting in death and accessory to a crime. But the district attorney refused to prosecute, saying the evidence wasn't strong enough. Then came the turning point. In 2008, advanced DNA testing was conducted on JonBenét's clothing. The results showed an unidentified male profile, one that didn't match any of the Ramseys. Prosecutors formally cleared the family, apologizing for years of suspicion. That opened the door for the intruder theory. Some detectives, like Lou Smith, believed an outsider slipped in through a basement window. They pointed to unidentified DNA, a broken window, and the possibility that the ransom note was staged by the killer. Over the years, suspects have surfaced. In 2006, a man named John Mark Carr confessed to killing JonBenét. The media went wild. But DNA proved he was lying and he was ruled out. Other suspects included family acquaintances, photographers, even local drifters. Yet every lead fizzled. So what does the Netflix documentary Cold Case, Who Killed JonBenét Ramsey add to all this? It re-examines the original evidence and gives us never-before-heard recordings from Detective Lou Smith, who spent years arguing for the intruder theory. It also shows us interviews with the former district attorney and highlights just how divided law enforcement really was. The big takeaway? This case was mishandled from the very beginning. Evidence was contaminated, leads were ignored, and the spotlight of the media turned a tragedy into a circus. Here's the bigger question. Why are we still obsessed with JonBenét's case nearly 30 years later? Part of it is the shocking nature of the crime. A child murdered on Christmas morning inside her own home. Add in the bizarre ransom note, the wealthy family, the pageants, and you have a story that seemed ripped straight from a crime novel. The media fueled the fire. From day one, reporters camped outside the Ramsey home. Tabloids painted Patsy and John as guilty, sometimes without evidence. Talk shows speculated endlessly. The public was left to decide who they believed, often based on sensational headlines, not facts. And now, in the age of social media, the case has a second life. On TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, thousands of people debate theories daily. Every new documentary sparks a wave of renewed speculation. JonBenét's story has become more than a crime. It's a cultural mystery that just won't fade. So, where does the case stand today? The Boulder Police Department insists the investigation is still active. JonBenét's father, John Ramsey, continues to push for more advanced DNA testing using today's technology. He believes answers still lie in the evidence collected nearly 30 years ago. For now, though, the killer remains unidentified. No arrests, no convictions. Just unanswered questions, a grieving family, and a little girl who never got to grow up. The JonBenét Ramsey case isn't just a mystery. It's a mirror. It shows us how fragile truth can be when investigations go wrong. It shows us how quickly public opinion can destroy reputations. And it shows us how, in the absence of justice, stories can take on lives of their own. So what can we learn from this tragedy? It's simple: seek facts, demand truth, resist rumors. Because whether we're talking about a murder case, a headline, or even a rumor at work or school, our words have power. Once suspicion spreads, it can't be taken back. For JonBenét, the cost of mistakes has been decades without justice. For us, the least we can do is honor her memory by being careful with the stories we believe and the stories we share. One day, science may give us the answer. Until then, we remember JonBenét Ramsey, and we remember the lesson. Always question, always verify, and never let gossip outweigh the truth.